I would like to welcome you to the inaugural ceremony of the Global Initiative of Academic Networks program, also called GIAN. GIAN, an MHRD initiative, aims to augment the country's existing academic resources and elevate India's scientific and technological capacity to global excellence. I would like to invite the director of IITB, Professor Devang Khakkar, to the dais to welcome the audience.
So, good morning. It's really a pleasure for me to be here to welcome all of you. I know that you're here for several workshops, but this particular workshop is special because it's the first of its kind in a new program, as has been mentioned. It's called GIAN, which also means knowledge in Hindi. About a year and a half ago, there was a meeting of all the IIT directors with the Prime Minister of India, and he expressed a wish that we should have a much larger number of international academics coming to India so that students could benefit from their knowledge and expertise. So then we worked on this program, and in fact the major initiative was taken by one of the IITs, IIT Kharagpur, which is in the eastern part of India. And this program has been essentially launched. It was launched on the 30th of December in IIT Gandhinagar, and in IIT Bombay this is the first course of its kind. So I want to thank all of you for being here. And we really look forward. I think this is just a great opportunity, and we hope to see a large number of academics coming in. IIT Bombay has already got another couple of such courses in the pipeline, but other IITs have been a lot more proactive, and I think IIT Madras has something like 30 or 40 such workshops in the pipeline, and hopefully we'll also reach that number, and so many more academics can visit IIT Bombay. I'm also very glad that this first course is in proteomics related to biology, which is somewhat new for IIT Bombay. We started off being primarily an engineering institute, but we have now moved, we've sort of taken biology to heart, and every one of our undergraduates now has to take at least one course, an introductory course in biology. In India, as everyone knows, that you make a choice early on. Either you go for engineering or medicine. If you decide to go for engineering, then you have to drop biology at the school level. So I think it's a unique experience for our undergraduate students to go back to biology when they come here. I'm really very happy with the extremely eminent speakers and instructors who have come for these workshops, and I thank you all for coming here and taking time out to interact with our students and deliver your lectures here. I hope this is the first of many visits. One of the main ideas of this kind of network is to create linkages, and we hope that these types of workshops start off collaborations which become enduring. I know that all the students are eagerly waiting to hear something more substantial than what I have to say, so I wish all success for the course, and thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Professor Khakkar. I now invite the head of CEP IIT Bombay, Professor Ravindra Gudi, to say a few words.
Thank you. Warm welcome to all of you to this first GIAN course. This was, as Professor Khakkar mentioned, an initiative from the Union Cabinet, and we're really happy to have the first course at IIT Bombay in the area of proteomics. The primary intent of this GIAN course is to get experts, distinguished experts, international experts like Professor Robert Moritz and others to visit IIT Bombay, interact with our faculty, look at different avenues of collaboration. But more importantly, all of you, I think interacting with all of you students and really getting the Gian, the Gian that they have, they would like to disseminate to all of you. And I would like to ask that all of you take this opportunity to interact with them, as well as request all our distinguished visitors to please visit the departments, including the biosciences and bioengineering department, looking at different avenues for collaboration. We have two other courses, as Professor Kakkar pointed out, slated during June. The first one on MEMS resonators offered through the mechanical engineering department, and the second on geotechnical analysis offered from the civil engineering department. I think we will post these notices up very soon and disseminate this information. Please also take note of these courses and disseminate it at your local host organizations, host universities and organizations. This course, the primary intent is also that you gain credits. And so I guess Professor Srivastava has a very elaborate plan of conducting a number of tough tests and quizzes. I appeal to him to be a little soft on all of you. But the advantage is, of course, that you earn credits. You can carry these credits and you can have them transferred to your local universities as well. So, I hope that you would have a great learning experience from all of this. The other important aspect I wish to highlight is that the course is recorded, the entire course is recorded, and it will be put on our portal for the benefit of those who could not make it today. And this course would also be available online, and they could always listen to the talks by accessing this from our portal. Just like to spend a couple of minutes talking about our continuing education and quality improvement program office at IIT Bombay. At the CE and QIP, we also offer a number of other courses of interest to both academia, faculty from different universities, as well as the industry professionals to kind of upgrade themselves, bring themselves up to the state of the art. But we don't really view these as a one-sided interaction. We also like to hear from them, and jointly we think that interaction, that collaboration through our courses, professional development courses, those would help to kind of further the state of the art, both in terms of application to industry areas as well as through programs like these, where we get an opportunity to interact with all of the distinguished visitors. So this is something that has been active. The CE and QIP office has been active for the last 20 years. We do both in-house programs that are tailored to specific needs of the industry or a particular university in a specific research area and the like. But also we have open courses where the faculty thinks that there is a particular area of interest where there could be industry participation. So we also advertise those courses. So both open as well as in-house programs is something that we offer. I would urge that you visit the CE and QIP website that's there on the IIT Bombay main website. You can visit those and keep yourselves updated about the programs that we offer on a routine basis. I would like to congratulate Professor Srivastava for taking this initiative, and of course Rob, who really underwent a lot of trouble getting a visa in such a short time, but has been extremely enthusiastic about coming. Thanks very much for taking the time off and visiting us in the department, and also all the other distinguished invitees. Again, congratulations, and I wish all of you have a great intellectually stimulating and rewarding program here. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Goody. I would now like to request the head of Department of Biosciences and Bioengineering, IIT Bombay, Professor Rohit Manchanda, to address the audience.
A very good morning to everyone. I'm representing the department here, of course. And well, it's my great pleasure to welcome you all to the department. Of course, right now you are not in the department, but it lies at a very short distance due east from here. And I suspect that in the course of the next few days, each one of you will have the chance to wander over, have a look at the department, in particular Professor Srivastava's lab, and affiliated labs in our department that undertake this kind of work. So I wish you a very, as Ravi said, intellectually stimulating few days from now on. I'd also like to take this opportunity. I think I'm the only one in this list here that can actually say something about Sanjeev in a little more detail. So Sanjeev has been with our department some 7 years now. It's shortly going to be 7 years. And in that period of time, he's kind of blazed a trail. He's been academically tremendously prolific, publications-wise and otherwise. I seem never to see him juggling something like less than about a dozen balls in the air at any given time. And these are pretty substantial ones, they're not trivial. To add to all his research accomplishments, last year he also won an Excellence in Teaching Award. So he's really, like I say, performing to the highest levels. So along, with him organizing all of this and with this constellation of very eminent lecturers and instructors that we have here, you're in the very best hands possible. So to the participants, I'd like to say, please make the most of it. You will not get such a chance too frequently as time goes on. And of course, this is a proteomics symposium and a workshop and 3 or 4 workshops on proteomics. And it's superfluous to say, of course, that proteomics is one of the new tidal waves of research endeavor. And I don't really work in this area at all, but I work in electrophysiology. And when I look at the proteins that are involved in the electrical functioning of cells, I can only wonder and marvel endlessly at the versatility of these proteins, at the gifts that they have, and indeed, you could say a sort of molecular intelligence that they have. All kinds of features are packed into these proteins: voltage sensing, inactivation, gating by chemicals, and so on and so forth. And one of the things that has been most intriguing in recent years is, please do indulge me, I'm taking a sort of personal slant on this, but one of the most intriguing things is that certain neurons in the central nervous system, particularly in the hippocampus and so on, express as many as 35 to 40 different ion channels in their membranes. Each of them, of course, is a protein. And it's really one of the biggest unanswered questions of electrophysiology today as to why a single neuron might need quite so many ion channels to function with. And then when you move from region of the brain to region of the brain, sub-region to sub-region, you find that the complement of these channels shifts subtly. So you move next door in the brain and you'll find a neuron with as many channels, but with subtle differences. And one of the really outstanding questions in my mind, I think, is how do we map this sort of channel distribution to function and to network function in the brain? I have a feeling that proteomics can supply some of the answers. Of course, a lot of the answers are to be found in electrophysiology per se, but that's the sort of excitement that I can sense out of the discipline of proteomics. I won't go on for any longer. I know that there's a rich platter of fare awaiting you over the next few days, and so welcome once more and wish you a very good time over here.
Thank you, Professor Manchanda. I now request the President of the Proteomics Society, India, Professor Surekha Zingde, to say a few words.
Good morning to all of you and our distinguished delegates who are sitting here in front. It's really a privilege to be with you here today at this inaugural of the course for Gian, an MHRD initiative, which was actually brought together primary institutes like the IITs, the ICERs, and the central universities, and the faculty from there to interact with faculty from abroad who specialize in different areas of science and technology, so that we can have good courses here for our teachers and students. So it's really a privilege to be here with you on at this inaugural. You will all agree this is an era of specialization, and none of us can be specialists in every area. This is an area era also of interdisciplinary sciences. And putting together all these specialist areas, the in-depth knowledge has to be brought together to provide a very holistic view of any area in science. And this is a forum which provides that holistic view, and you'll understand why. Today we are entering in for a course on proteomics, which studies the proteins coded for by the genome. It uses cell and molecular biology. It uses technologies to purify, isolate, characterize, identify, and look at the functional analysis of these. And the information that's emanating is so huge. You need bioinformatics and computational biology to put all of that together, which eventually helps us to understand the complexity of the proteome. And you'll agree, therefore, here again, there are specialized areas all coming together in an interdisciplinary fashion so that we can provide state-of-art information to the teachers and students who have come here to understand proteomics today. As the Proteomics Society of India president, I'm also very happy that our colleagues from the council, Srikant and Sanjeev, are here as coordinators and instructor of the course, and they are, yes, Srikant is sitting right there, along with Dr. Morris, who will provide the strong support and provide information for data analysis and tools, and of course his team of 6 other members from his institute. So we're really privileged to have you all with us here, and I'm sure the course will move ahead and provide state-of-art knowledge in proteomics, especially for those youngsters who are coming here and are looking to see what is happening, what's happening after the genome and what's happening at the proteome. We are also happy to have Professor Mark Baker, President HUPO, and Professor Laber, who's the president of the US HUPO, and Dr. Morris, who's the vice president. And with their vision of how proteomics can go ahead with the global community, I'm sure everybody will get an idea as to how important proteomics is to world science. And we're looking forward to your thoughts on this. I really would like to now congratulate Sanjeev, congratulate Dr. Kakar and Dr. Guri, who will take forward this program. And this is only one of the courses. I'm sure there are many other courses here lined up under the IIT and Gian Internetwork to provide quality education to teachers and students of this country. Thank you so much, and I'm sure you will all do very well.
Thank you, Professor Zingide. I would now like to invite President of HUPO, Professor Mark Baker, to address the audience.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's nice to finally get back to India. I had a great time here last year, and I was looking forward to another 2 weeks. Unfortunately, it's been cut short by the terrible loss of life of your friends and family and colleagues in Chennai, so I'd like to recognise them first. Thanks to Professor Kakar for his kind invitation and having us here at IIT Bombay. It's great to bring some colleagues from HUPO, but I wanted to draw on 2 key points. The first is that, like proteins, humans are social, so make the most of this meeting. Catch up with all your old friends. Use your olfactory receptors, the biggest family of missing proteins, to smell some beautiful Indian food, okay? But try and do it with some new friends as well. So try and meet at least 1 or 2 new friends. Reach out to somebody that you've always wanted to and been a bit scared or afraid to do so. Or if you're a young student, you go, oh, Professor Baker is the president of HUPO. Everyone in my group calls me Bakes, okay? I call them professors because they're going to be the professors of the next generation. So please feel free. I know Rob and Josh are very open guys, and Brendan up the back and all the international guests. Please take use of that and just think like a protein. Be social, okay? And the protein interaction network and the interaction of HUPO is getting stronger. We're a very strong family. The second thing I wanted to draw your attention to was that between last year, my visit here, where we absolutely got blown away by the hospitality of the Indian people, and this year, HUPO has launched its tagline. And the tagline for HUPO was a competition that we ran for our under 35-year-olds. So HUPO has this young blood campaign trying to encourage young students to play a very active role in HUPO. For example, Emma Lundberg has just launched a HUPO initiative with the gaming community. I mean, when I heard about this, I thought that's pretty wild, but it's all around mapping how antibodies interact and the multiplicity of antibodies that are out there, and getting the gaming community to try and contribute to the Human Proteome Project. And it's been taken up with fantastic zeal by that community. They're starting to talk about the word proteome simply because the gaming community sees this as a big challenge. So think laterally and be social, enjoy the conference. And I'd particularly like to draw my great thanks to Sanjeeva for getting me here eventually. He must have spent hours with Thomas Cook trying to get a flight for me, because I spent the equal amount of time with Singapore Airlines trying to get it. So thank you, Sanjeeva, and thank you for all the effort that you put in. Finally, I think the Indian government needs thanks for having an initiative like Gian. It may mean knowledge, but if you put a T on the end of it, it's going to be a big knowledge. It's going to be big data, the giant Gian. So I wish it all the best, and I'm sure it's going to be a tremendously successful systems biology initiative, and congratulations on it.
Thank you, Professor Baker. I would now like to invite President of US HUPO, Professor Josh Laber, to address the audience.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. This is my first time in India, so I'm really happy to have come here. I am so sad that I missed last year's meeting. I was supposed to come to that, but issues came up that I had to take care of back in Arizona, so couldn't make it. You aren't the only person, though, that can speak about Sanjeev. Sanjeev and I go way back. Sanjeev spent his postdoc in my laboratory, so I'm the second person who can comment on him. It comes as no surprise that he's as busy as he is now, because he was just like that when he was in Boston, back when we were at Harvard together. One of the things that especially impressed me was, this reminds me very much of when we used to teach the proteomics course at Cold Spring Harbor. So every year we would travel down to New York to Cold Spring Harbor, where we spent 2 weeks teaching proteomics to students there. And so I'm so thrilled that he's brought the enthusiasm that he brought to the course we taught in Cold Spring Harbor here to India, where I think, obviously, looking at the success of this meeting already, I think it will impact a lot of people. So I'm very pleased to see that. Certainly, it's great to be here representing the United States in this meeting, or one of the members from the United States in this meeting. I think we certainly are trying to advance education on proteomics there, and I think it's important to bring that to the rest of the world. So I'm thrilled to be here and looking forward to the rest of the meeting.
Thank you, Professor Laber. I request the course coordinator for Gian, Professor Sanjeev Srivastav, to say a few words.
All right, welcome delegates. Welcome to all our dignitaries here. Professor Khakkar, Professor Ravi Gudi, Professor Manchanda. Thanks so much for all the admin support for offering this course in a very short time. Dr. Surekha Jingde, Dr. Mark Baker, Dr. Josh Leber, for coming for this inaugural ceremony on a, again, very short invitation and giving your kind words. Let me thank Professor Robert Smorridge for running this course. He has kindly agreed to come here for extended duration to conduct this course here. As this course is about Gian, the knowledge network, I think proteomics probably fits very well for the first course to conduct, because we are talking about protein interaction networks, which could map for all the physiological actions. So we are doing it first time, the Gian course in proteomics. And let me also thank Professor Josh Leber for giving me Gian, the knowledge, as a mentor when I was in a very formative years of my research and training. And as I mentioned that we went to Cold Spring Harbor a couple of times, almost 3 courses we conducted over there of 14 days long courses. And that really gave me a very practical training of how well one could interact with the participants and conduct the courses from which people can take some knowledge, Gian, and take it back. because just with some conference symposium for 2 days long or 3 days long, you cannot provide those kind of training. And Josh was really kind of, always supportive to provide this kind of training to all his postdocs. But I was more privileged because I had opportunity to be with him 3 times to conduct these courses. And that was a real training for me, because while I'm conducting right now a couple of workshops, these are kind of mimicking the same knowledge, the training which I have obtained from him and other instructors during those interactions in the Cold Spring Harbor. So let me thank Josh, let me thank all of you to be here. And I'm sure our aim is to conduct these courses really at the international level, where you can take the right training from the best people in the world. Brendan McLean, somewhere in the back here, he is conducting another workshop on the Skyline on the targeted proteomics, which is another very popular course happening. So as on the LCMS people, we have Dr. Shrikant and many instructors here. So all the participants also will have opportunity to attend many seminars, which are very dedicated in the evening sessions on the metabolomics, on biosimilar, and on the clinical biomarker. So we are really hoping that this interaction, the Gian, is really going to enthuse you with a lot of stimulating sessions throughout these 5 days long course. Additionally, if you intend to attend the second module, which will be again hands-on on the mass spec, that will be another 5 days long course. So this Gian course will be totally 10 days long. Additionally, you have opportunity to interact with many plenary scientists here. You can see a lot of distinguished people from proteomics area. Please do take this opportunity to interact with them, to network with them. And I'm sure this is really at least a great honor for me that they have all agreed, and they have flew very long flights. They've come all the way to interact with you. So please use this opportunity to talk to them, interact with them, and take the Gyan for which this course and this workshop has been designed. Thanks so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Srivastav. I now request the course instructor for Gyan, Professor Robert Moritz, to say a few words.
So I think this is fantastic. I came here last year with the invite from Sanjeeva, and I had a fantastic time. We had a large component of all the people from HUPO here. We discussed the human proteome. We did a lot of social interaction, and we really set it off quite well. So Sanjeeva and myself have been talking about this over the last year, and then the opportunity came up with Gyan, and we thought this would be fantastic to get this course going. But I think what's really good is that I can get my people to come and talk to you at the same time. It's always difficult to get large groups of people to come to us, and so it's maybe sometimes easier for us to come to you. But it also gives them an opportunity for their work that they're doing and to interact with you people and get some new ideas as well. So I think this has been a fantastic way of going forward. I think the support from all the way to the heads of IIT, both Professor Kakar and Ravi as well, has really got a lot of support behind it. So there's a lot of pressure on us now to deliver for you, instead of you can sit back and get all spoon-fed. But we'd really like you to be interactive, and as Mark was saying, be social, talk to us, and you'll see that there'll be a lot of things that we can do together. And I think with the world expertise that India has in software engineering, we also look forward to seeing a lot of that coming forward. And with our small collaborations that we already started last year, we hope to expand on those as well. So thank you very much, and we hope to deliver for you for the whole of this week. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Moritz. Professor Shrikant, to say a few words.
Good morning, all. It's a privilege to be here after 1 year. So last year I was here. And again, the proteomics, this is the first time I am also the part of the Gyan. So I hope the students will really get the benefit from this course. And again, I want to really appreciate Sanjeeva. So the last year and the way he is conducting the proteomics conferences, it looks like the IIT Bombay is going to be a symbol for the proteomics research in future. It's really, I'm very appreciative of your efforts, and I'm sure that students will really gain the good knowledge from this proteomics course, because this is the one of the field really growing a lot, and especially you can see the recent 2 issues, proteomics in India and in general proteomics and the Nature India. So this really, that also really, even though just before 5 years we are in the just infant stage in the proteomics, now we are also becoming the very good part of the human proteome map, and the research really helped to again to show the good map in the Indian map in the world human proteome. Thank you all, and thank you Sanjeeva for including the part of Gian. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to invite Professor Srivastava to the dais to felicitate all the speakers. Head of CEP, IIT Bombay, Professor Ravindra Gudi. Head of the Bioscience and Bioengineering Department, IIT Bombay, Professor Rohit Manchanda. President of the Proteomics Society of India, Professor Surekha Zingde. President of HUPO, Professor Mark Baker. President of US HUPO, Professor George Laber. Course Instructor for Gyan, Professor Robert Moritz. Course Instructor for Gyan, Professor Shrikant. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, so along with Dr. Rob Morich, we have his team of instructors who will be conducting this Gyan course. So I thought before we close, we should also felicitate them. Please just come on board here, come on stage.
So the first person we have Luis Mendoza. So I've got one already here. So Luis is, as you have already seen, he's a software engineer and one of the main course instructors here. Next is Dr. Michael Hoopman. He's also a computational and mass spectrometry specialist. Dr. Sam Bader. David Campbell. And Dr. Ulrike Kusebauch.